Hello and welcome. Here I'm going to be showing you about SharePoint sites and how you would take the document store that's in a SharePoint site and firstly access it. Obviously that's important, but also how to synchronize that down to your desktop machine or your laptop and be able to use it offline and manage that through that OneDrive connection. So you can take things away from SharePoint and not have to use the SharePoint front end to access those files. So in this demo, what we've got is a chap here, with the normal guy I use for demonstration, which is Buck Rogers here. Now he's been given access to a SharePoint site called Staff Central, and you can see here he's just been sent the email from his IT guy, Bob Jones here, and that's the link obviously to get in there. So let's go in there and have a look at that SharePoint site. So if we use that link that Bob has sent, and we're already obviously logged into the OneDrive site here, you can see there it is, Staff Central. That's where this particular company keeps all of its information. You can see it's just a demo site that I've got under Cozy Mouse, but it serves that purpose of being a normal SharePoint site. What I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to say, yes, we are going to be following that. So when we go to our normal SharePoint home, it's going to show up. But what I will do is just go in here, and I know that under resources and documents in this particular sort of template layout, that's where the documents are going to be kept. So you can see if we go in there, you can see there's our document store, which has got all of the items on a normal SharePoint layout of this particular Staff Central. Now, obviously, Buck has got access to it. Not everybody would have access to this information. You might have different SharePoint sites for like finance or HR or other things. But essentially, this one's called Staff Central. It's where this particular company keeps things like current projects and the like. So you can see if I go into current projects, you can see there's our document folders, client project, and you can see if we go into it, there, access, best client presentation ever. But it serves the purpose of being that's the file structure and that's how it's laid out. But what I want to show you, the real reason for this video, is to show you how then to synchronize that down to your desktop machine and also manage that sync process as well. So let's just pop back out of there, and let's go back up to the document store here. Now what we have is a little magic button here just called sync, and that's really what we do. We just press that sync button. And you can see here we go, open with Microsoft OneDrive, because everything is synced to your machine using the OneDrive client. You can see, yes, it's now syncing the files. But let's show you what that looks like. If we go into File Explorer now, you can see on the left-hand side here, we've got a Teams one, which we'd synced earlier. If you've seen the other videos about OneDrive, you'll notice this one from earlier. But now we have this one called Staff Central Documents. And there is our structure. If I just show you this here, it matches up to what's in here. These are cloud only, and you can see that obviously they're going to be on-demand files. So if I were to go into current projects and client project, again, you'll see it's got the little cloud symbol. So it's not on the machine yet. It's just like a little stub link there that will link it across to that presentation. Now, if I do go and double click on it, what it will do is you can see it synchronizes. Now it brings it down as that on-demand file. And I can access this file now inside my local machine and work on it. I can make some edits and do whatever I need to in here. As you can see here, just put 1, 2, 3 on there, and obviously just close it, and out she goes. Really, what I wanted to do here was then say, okay, I want to take this client project folder and I want to make sure that it is synced up to my machine so that when I'm offline, let's say I'm working in an area where there's no internet, that I have full access to this particular folder. Now, in this case of a SharePoint, you may not want to synchronize the entire SharePoint site down to your machine. They can obviously get very large. So we're going to be very careful about what we want to synchronize down to our machine. But what we do is we just right click on that and we say, always keep on this device here. And by doing that, you'll see the icon will then go with a filled in green. Now, obviously that's happened very quickly. It's just one file and it's a very, very small file at that. But it would then go ahead and synchronize those down. And if I do click on the little OneDrive item here, you can see that that's been taken down and put onto the machine. Now, let's have a look at these other folders here. Because if we were to go into any of these folders, see under newsletters here, you can see staff newsletter. It's still got the cloud. As soon as I've accessed it once, then you'll notice it then syncs, and I get the little tick box to say it is on that machine now. Then that will stay until a point where I right click it and say free up the space, and that will then free that up and go back to the cloud symbol. and that will stay on the machine, obviously down here. Now, there may be a point where I decide now I don't want to have this Staff Central synchronized to my machine anymore. So how to do that is you go into the OneDrive settings here. We just pop up into the little cog, go to settings, and you'll find that under the account tab here, you can see there's our Staff Central. I can say here, stop sync, and that will hit stop sync. What you'll find is if I go back here, give it a minute or so, that will actually remove itself and drop itself out. Now, obviously, it's not going to remove the documents from the SharePoint site itself. It's only going to remove them from my local machine. So there you can see that's now gone from this side. And if there's nothing to stop me going back in there and resyncing it back down again. But that's obviously how we manage it from a local machine perspective. And lastly, as well, looking at the main OneDrive screen in the portal, you can see that presentation we had edited earlier has now popped up into my recent files. And so you can see this is really, like I was saying on other sessions, this whole recent structure here is not just your local OneDrive, it is everything that you've done recently in the entire SharePoint, Teams and OneDrive environment. So really, if I go back in here, it's a very quick and easy link to get back into that presentation. You see there's a little change we made as well. So that's handy to have. So if you're looking for a file that you've accessed recently and you think it could be on SharePoint, could be on Teams, could be somewhere, but you know you've been in there and edited it, there's a very good chance it's going to be in your recent file list inside your OneDrive portal. So go to onedrive.com, sign in there, and you'll be able to find those. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.